How we doing? LinkedIn always takes a second to click in. They're the slowest. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, let's do this while Chris gets in here. A couple thoughts for the day that I had. Throw in the comments what your thoughts are on this. So, uh, thought number one. Thought number one for the day is, uh, you know what? I'm gonna go kind and serenity today. So, I read a post from a friend about the word kind and nice, and his name's Baha Shamit, Chamit, I think, maybe Chamit. Sorry if I spelled it wrong. On LinkedIn, and he did very well about the kind and nice, and he's a great guy. The other one, so which got me to thinking that I've had this thought for a little while about thankful and gratitude, because people are always like, "Oh, just thanks, 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 thanks," and just throw the word thanks around all a bunch. But when you think about it, you have gratitude and you give thanks. And giving, right, brings more joy than receiving. And so I'm always like, okay, do we? But it's always portrayed as gratitude being deeper than thankful or giving thanks. So what's really the truth behind all this? Because now it's in my mindset that like a true thankfulness is better than having gratitude. Anyways, food for thought for the day. So go have fun with that. Um, Today I wanted to talk about just consistency. So today we're going to talk about consistency. The number one thing that everybody always struggles with, that the number one thing that people need to remember, the hardest thing to do, there he is. The hardest thing to do, the hardest thing to continue on with. Sorry, I'm trying to read some comments. Hey, Chris.
How's it?
The hardest thing to do, the hardest thing to check on, the hardest thing to stay with, obviously, the hardest thing to be consistent with is consistency, being consistent. um, However, the number one thing that creates success, the number one thing that creates uh, involvement, whatever you want it to be, right? That creates deliberation and stuff like that. The number one thing is consistency. It's the hardest to do, but it's the number one thing that creates success in whatever you want to be successful in. Am I right or am I wrong, Chris?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Consistency is the challenge. Waking up, making yourself move forward and do it in spite of anything.
Anything. And what are we moving forward in?
Oh, closing deals, getting sales, helping people
For
solve
us,
problems.
for us, for us,
you
it's
know,
helping people solve problems, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I put a post out last night on our Instagram, Ice Cube, talking about if you ain't willing to put in the grind for at least 5 years and willing to not even make a quarter, it's not even worth doing.
Not even worth doing. Um, and are you willing to do that, Chris?
Every day, all
Every
day,
day, baby. Every day. We're
all
just
day.
trying to help people. I just want to help people. That's
Don't
all we're trying
sleep.
to do.
Don't sleep to make it work. Be
Don't
successful.
don't sleep until we help people.
Exactly.
That's funny. But so what? Whoops, clicking buttons here that I don't know what they do. So what do we have when it comes to consistency? What kind of things are very important to be consistent at? Right. So everybody's like, "Oh, just be consistent." Okay, great. I'm very consistent at waking up in the morning. I could be consistent at watching Netflix. I could be consistent at eating burritos, right? Stuff like that. So when we're trying to be consistent, what is it important to be consistent at?
Well, I would say just following a program, following a consistency. one of the biggest challenges is definitely the social media aspect. Being consistent, keeping your name out there, being consistent on following up on your appointments, not getting discouraged no matter how many times you've called and they haven't answered, or all of that is super key. Whether you're working out, whether it doesn't matter if you're in business, exercising, consistency is key. You can't win unless you put in the work.
Can't win unless you put in the work. And so for because we're in the sales industry, us, but we also help sales organizations for the most part, call centers and sales. Let's stick with sales for just a minute here. You mentioned something about following up, right? Being in, picking up, dialing, and following up, right? What or those are some of the things that we do in sales. What in sales would you say is the number one thing that you need to be consistent at? Maybe two. Maybe there's two side by side.
Leading with service, number one, always, always,
Always.
always, always number one, and always agree, always agree,
Always
always
agree.
agree. If you're consistent in that, uh, I think you can go far. Um,
So that would be on the call, right? While you're on the call,
on the
lead with
call,
service, always agree.
yeah,
That's easy. I can say yes to everybody. I don't
easy.
want your I don't want your product. Of course you don't want my product.
I knew that.
I already knew.
I, I already knew that. That's why you clicked on my ad.
That's right. That's right. Did you see the that's what I had to say yesterday to somebody. I tried to call him 3 times. He clicked on our ad, gave me his phone number. I tried to call him 3 times. He didn't pick up. So I text him, "Hey, it's hard to get a hold of you. I can help you with that." And he goes, "I don't answer phone calls from people I don't know." I was like, "I knew that. I already knew that. Of course you don't. That's what I'm here for." But it's funny. Chris, you drop your pen.
Yeah, I dropped something.
Makes for great TV.
Makes for great TV. You know,
Okay, so consistency in the sales calls, always agree, and lead with service, always serve, right? What about consistency in the whole sales process, right? The process is you get a lead comes in, you try and talk to the lead, maybe you do or don't. Got to follow up with the lead, and then have a sales call and close the lead, right? So in that sales process, where's consistency at?
uh, well, the consistency is as soon as it comes in, making sure that becomes priority. That has to be priority number one. As soon as you get a notification, get on it. Consistency, having your timing down. I'm going to work at this time. You get up and you start working at that time. Um, Staying organized, keeping track, being consistent on taking notes of every attempted contact, anything that happens. That way, your whole team can be organized and everybody can stay on the same page. That is key in in the sales process, especially in the remote world when your team can be halfway across the country, halfway across the world, all the way around the world.
Yeah.
It's very important to stay consistent in communication.
Yes,
Is
sir.
actually the number one thing.
Consistent
Communication.
in communication. So that means if you say, "Hey, I'll hit you up in a couple hours," hit them up in a couple hours, right? If they didn't pick up at, if you called and they didn't pick up at 10 a.m., call them back at 3 a.m. But then again, call them back at 6 p.m., right? Try and hit them on their schedule. That's consistency, right? Things like that. Yeah,
And I would say be consistent and not beating yourself up if you make a mistake.
that's true too.
That's the true thing. Don't you're your biggest enemy. The only one that's going to slow anyone down is you. So um, being consistent in your mindset is, I think, really important. Those little things your knowledge, your experience, things like that will come. But if you're consistent in those things and your mindset and how you operate internally, I think you can make anything possible.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And you can, as long as you're, as you know, like you said, as long as you're willing to do, right? Consistency in everything. So consistency in thoughts relates to consistency in action, right?
Oh man, we got to go in here. People want to make comments. I think
Yeah,
we
let's
have
do it.
guests, sir. We got to go into our YouTube here.
Yeah, I wish we were technologically.
We're getting better. Each one of these shows is going to get
Each one
better.
of these shows gets better. We try and be experts as much as you can. As soon as you hit live, it just all the expertise goes away, right? But
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a bunch of trash beginners as well, so I would give us a 4 or a
all
3.
right, hey, we're better than zero. But this one thing that we're gonna do with this, like you said, consistency, right? And we're trash right now, and maybe our production isn't that good or whatever. Our content is probably pretty decent, but at the same time, we're gonna be consistent with it. And we're gonna get better, and what we're looking at today is, or what we're looking at tomorrow is gonna be better than what we're doing today, right? And that's consistency, and that's getting better. So the other thing,
Consistency on getting on here, actually doing this.
exactly, exactly, because we want to share the world. We want to share. We want to help the world be shared, right? Stuff needs to be shared. So the other thing I really like about consistency is people can think about it all day long, and people there's a ton of people that have phenomenal thoughts. How often do they think about it? Not enough if you're not doing it. That's my thought. That's my consistency take on that. So if you're consistently thinking about, let's say, just say, um, running a mile is really easy. So if you're consistently thinking, I need to run a mile every day so my lungs are good, right? So my legs are good, or whatever you want to call it. I need to consistently run a mile every day, and you just don't, and but you only think about it one time a day. That's not enough, right? That you're not feeding it. You're not being consistent in your mindset. Now, if you think about it every single hour, every single half hour, every single 15 minutes, you're going to go run that mile. It's because it consumes your thought, and you're so much consistently thinking about it until you go get it done. Same thing with hunger, right? If you're a little bit hungry, I'm a little bit hungry, and you wait, you put it off. Then you get hungrier and hungrier, and then eventually it consumes you to where the only thought you have is consistently being hungry. And then what do? You go eat, right? And that's how all of your thoughts. That's how you make your thoughts consistent to lead to action, especially if you're struggling with, whatever you wanna be accountable to. And so that's one way to be. That's how you be consistent. If people are like, "Oh, I think about it all the time," do you? Like literally all the time? Because you're not on a level yet where you can be actionably consistent if you're not that mentally consistent. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, Chris? It does.
Oh, it totally makes sense.
He's chatting it up. Uh, totally makes sense. But
Well, yeah, I think I have comments on now. Maybe
oh,
I'm
sweet,
hoping
you're smarter than me. But
we'll find out.
we'll find out. All right.
There is a chat open. I'm just trying to confirm if we have anyone in here to chat with us.
But what else about anything else about consistency, Chris? We got just a few more minutes to go. Anything else about being consistent? How it's helped you? How you've seen it in someone else's life?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's this kid from our sales training I met down there back in like late November, and he just started coming around. He had created a brand new Instagram account, and he just dedicated himself to um, making content. He just started posting. He walked down the street. He would talk to people, interview people. Did it every day. Got comments. People talk. The haters. The haters make you successful. Haters are great. My boy Mike, he loves haters. Haters, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
So this kid every day posting, making lives, putting out reels every day. He went from nothing, and now he's blown up. He's rolling around with some people. He's following the rules. He was consistent. He got in the room. He stayed in the room. He found his way to provide value to these people who are doing things that he wants to do, that he's emulating. And that's hard to be in that grind, and that consistency is the key. You know, when you don't want to do it, that's when you need to do it. When your mind tells you, oh, I shouldn't go into that store and talk to those people, that's exactly who you should talk to. Oh, I don't think I could call them, they don't want to do my business. No, that's exactly who you call. Staying consistent in that, and really it comes back to that mindset. Consistency in mindset is going to take you wherever you need to go.
Yeah. And that's where that mindset, I love that mindset of the first thought you have is always a good thought, right? Because you're thinking about whatever you're doing so much. So let's go to business, to sales. First thought is I should call them, right? They need my service, I can help them. The very next thought that enters your mind for almost everybody in the world is a doubtful thought. Maybe not because. Actually, actually no, because this. Oh, he probably has this. I'm bothering him at the wrong time, right? The instant next thought is a doubtful thought. However, if you can push that thought to the side, the third thought is a no, I can do this thought, right? And so first you have, hey, I can help that person. Then doubts come in, and then it reels back to, actually, you know what? It probably would be a good idea if I did that. And if you can either get through those doubts or trash those doubts, then you can go accomplish what you need to, right? Once again, running a mile. Oh, I should go run a mile. That's a healthy thing to do. Oh, but it's raining. It's cold. It's my legs are tired. I could go do this instead, right? I don't have my headphones. What music am I going to listen to? All those are doubts. If you can push through all those doubts, minimize those doubts, and get through the very next thought, no, but I know I need to do it, so I'm going to do it. Then, then you perform, right? And that happens to that happens to everybody all the time. And so that's another thing you can be consistent of too is knowing the thought process. I can help, or can I? No, absolutely I can. And then you go do your action. So
Oh, for
that's one
sure.
thing to always remember.
Well, yeah, my one of my heroes, the great Kobe Bryant, man,
Yeah.
consistency. After every game, he spent an hour more shooting shots after the game. Then he
Yep.
went home and shot some more
Yep.
consistently every day. You know,
And how many
and,
people tried to beat him early to the arenas, and he was always the first. Always didn't matter how early, he was always there, and he was always sweating, not even lacing up his shoes.
well, yeah, and that's where consistency comes in. You know, um, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. You just got to keep going, keep doing it. Pull your bootstraps up and move on and just do it. Keep going.
Yes, sir.
You know,
And then what
the only
happens?
thing that stops you from getting there is not doing anything.
That's true.
You get stuck on stop and forget about it, or living in fear, like our boy Dave just said. Lack of consistency is about overcoming your fear of picking up the phone. Like,
There it is.
yeah, the worst thing anyone can say is no or hang up on you.
That's true. And they already said that earlier, so why not ask? That's true, Dave. That's actually something I wanted to touch on too. Self talk needs to go from negative to positive. Yep. So we just went through that, right? You always have a positive thought. I should help that old lady put groceries in her car. Oh no, she's probably independent. She's done it 100 times. She doesn't need my help this time. Push through that and get to the very next thought, because the very next thought is, who cares? I'm gonna go over there and say hi anyways, right? Get through the very next thought, just like you said. Get that negative to positive. Then the other thing about some ways to be helpful with consistency is proximity, right? When you're around people who are going to get you where you want to go, or already where you're at, or are encouraging to you, or things like that. Proximity helps with consistency. If you want to be a baseball player, are you going to go hang out with soccer players? No, you're going to go hang out with baseball players. Um, Same thing's true with anything. Um,
Yeah.
if you want to be good at sales, are you going to go hang out with? Are you going to go hang out with at Home Depot? I don't know. I don't want to say anything rude, but if you want to be good at sales, are you going to go hang out with people who are, using shovels and digging holes, right? No, you're going to go hang out with people who are knocking doors and making phone calls, right? Those types of people.
Wearing
So,
business suits on their phones,
yeah,
in their
exactly.
Starbucks, on their computers all day
Yeah,
doing this. Like,
exactly.
talk to those guys. What are you doing? Hey, what kind of work do you do? Just put yourself out there, personally, in business, everywhere. You know, the two ways to be successful: one, get valuable information, uh, you know, the right information, and operate on that information, and then proximity.
Proximity,
Get in the
baby.
room with people that you want to be like, that you want the things they have. Get in that room, stay in that room, and provide some value,
Love it. Absolutely.
whatever that may be. You want to wash their car. If that's all you think you can do, offer to wash cars. You have a business that you want to do business with, go and talk to the owner. Offer to wash his car. Bring him a coffee. Bring him some Starbucks, out of the blue. You
Just
make
be
that
around those
connection.
people. Yep.
Yeah, blow them up, annoy the hell out of them. Successful people like that. A lot of times it's a test. They're trying to break you, to see what you got.
Yes,
And,
sir.
and as long as you follow through and you keep doing it, you can't lose.
Can't lose. All right, Chris. Off topic. What is behind you?
What's behind me? That's some kind of,
What's it a
Buddha,
picture? What's it a picture
good
of? That's
energy.
Oh, I see
It's like
now.
a
I see
Buddhist
now. Yeah.
statue. It's like a
Okay.
little
Yeah.
statue, kind of
Yeah.
giving those good vibes out.
I love it. I can feel it.
Get getting rid of the records and the
I can
and the,
feel it.
the messy studio behind it. uh, yeah, we're an AI tech company, but we got computers from 1996. So
Not me.
there you
Just
go.
me. Uh,
Well, it works.
it
It
works, baby. It
works.
works. But
You know,
all right. Anything else on consistency? We want to leave every. Wow. Anything else on consistency we want to leave everybody with?
yeah. When you watch this, be consistent. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Call us fools. Call us great. Call us geniuses.
Love it.
Call us dumbasses. Call us something. Just call us, and
Yep.
we can help you. Because if we call you and you don't answer, guess what? We can help.
You need us.
That's what we do.
We can
That's
help.
exactly what we do.
Uh,
Share this with everybody you know. We're here every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, same
1
time,
Eastern.
same bat channel.
That's
That's about
right.
it. Be consistent.
Got it.
Show up.
And
Show up.
tomorrow we're gonna go over what AI can do for your business. There's 4 pillars that we can help with your sales process, and we're gonna just go over one of those pillars and how it can be implemented into your business. So that'll be exciting.
Well,
So
for sure. That'll be Thursday, right? We're
what's
doing
tomorrow?
Tuesday, Thursday.
You're right. That'll be Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Come on, Brian.
Be
So,
consistent in looking at your calendar.
be consistent. Look at that's right. I agree. That'll be Thursday. Thursday we're gonna go over that. So all right.
Consistency in your calendar. That's a good tip.
That's
That's
huge.
something. It's taken me months to really start to get consistent in checking that calendar
Put it
every
in that
night before I
calendar,
go to
baby.
bed. Like, that is a challenge, and that is one thing I would say is very important to be consistent with. Using your calendar, start being consistent on a schedule. Um, you know, no one's perfect.
No one's perfect.
But the attempts and consistency and trying and doing, not trying, doing it every day. And as soon as you remember, it's like your antibiotics. You forget to take it, go and take it right away.
Go and take
Don't
it.
skip it. Um, and just be consistent in all that. And
Cocaineism.
success will follow you.
Last thing I'll leave you with is this: if you're struggling with all this, where should I be consistent? Pick something. Look, write down a goal. Number one, write down a goal, whatever the goal is. like literally whatever the goal is. Bench more, run more, make more money, whatever it is. Write down that goal. The next thing is just pick one thing to be consistent is. It could be putting information on your calendar, make more phone calls, making your bed, getting up at a certain time. It doesn't matter what you choose. It matters that you choose and execute. Once you do that one thing, all of the other things will fall into place. So
That's right.
that's what I.
And you will reprogram your mind, and it
Yes,
won't be such a chore, and it'll just become second nature, I believe.
exactly. So, all right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Remember Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and we'll see you Thursday, and we'll go over, like I said, one of those four pillars on how to implement on one of those implementations of AI in your business. Have a good one, everybody.
Peace.